A bombshell-leaked video is making waves online, showing the Secret Service director meeting with Trump's shooter. Yep, you read that right. The clip is fueling major suspicion that she might have let the attack happen. The Secret Service's failure to protect Trump is now under a dark cloud of controversy. What's the real story here? This scandal is about to explode. Kimberly Cheatle linked with the shooter.
And these pictures of the items found on the roof, including a black cell phone and a gray wireless transmitter authorities say he intended to use to remotely detonate explosives in his car.
For starters, the FBI found a second phone belonging to Crooks, raising questions about his communications and connections. The Heritage Foundation's oversight project discovered that someone frequently visiting Crooks' home in Pennsylvania also made regular trips to a building near an FBI office in Washington. If that wasn't suspicious enough, investigators have identified 9 devices connected to Crooks' house and workplace. Looks like Crooks might have had some help trying to take out Trump. When people asked Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle about potential accomplices, she pointed them to the FBI. They found a Samsung Galaxy S10 at Crooks' place with some sketchy stuff on it. The last search history was full of terms like Trump rally security, how to use an AR-15, and escape routes in Butler, PA. As investigations continue, the possibility that this was an inside job remains a topic of intense speculation. If true, it would imply a profound betrayal by those closest to Trump, raising questions about loyalty, trust, and the lengths to which people will go to achieve their goals. The story is far from over, and as more details come to light, the full extent of the conspiracy may be revealed. This theory, if proven, would not only reshape our understanding of the attack, but also reveal a darker side of political maneuvering and betrayal. Moreover, the FBI is also reportedly seeking access to 3 encrypted accounts based overseas, allegedly belonging to Crooks. Rep. Sir Michael Waltz mentioned that he has been in discussions with agents as the FBI continues to probe the attack. He learned that the Bureau believes Thomas Crooks may have been linked to foreign accounts amid sensational rumors of an Iranian plot. The shooter had 3 encrypted accounts overseas. At the same time, we're having an Iranian plot, Waltz said. I think this is going to go much broader, much deeper. We're going to get to the bottom of this beginning Monday. Waltz added that agents are now looking to hold US Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle to account over the assassination attempt, claiming they are pissed and frustrated over the lack of resources they have been provided. House Speaker Mike Johnson said he was ready to call on Joe Biden to fire Ms. Cheatle, as her office stated she would not step down amid growing pressure to resign following the shooting. And then every acquaintance of his is suggesting that he was a nice person, and the FBI is also covering this, but there is this new leaked information that he tried to attack a school despite being a good person. I mean, how is it even possible? And the FBI is not even covering this incident.
Who was the agent in charge? How long has she been the agent in charge? And what is her Secret Service background?
So I'm not going to provide a name.
Why not? You're here to answer our questions.
Forum. I'm not going to provide names.
The director of the US Secret Service took responsibility for the significant security lapses ahead of the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. However, she declined to answer questions directly, leading to frustration among lawmakers from both parties who demanded her resignation. Kimberly Cheatle, who resisted calls to step down, told the House Oversight and Accountability Committee that the shooting represented the most serious operational failure by the Secret Service in over 4 decades. The Secret Service's solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders. On July 13th, we failed, Cheatle said, speaking in Washington, D.C. under subpoena. As the director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse. At the rally in Butler, PA, the shooting resulted in an injury to Trump's right ear, the death of a local firefighter, and injuries to 2 other attendees. Kimberly Cheatle faced over 4 hours of intense questioning on Monday, with lawmakers focusing on 2 main issues: how such a serious threat to a former president and current candidate occurred under her watch, and whether she should keep her job.
You stated in your testimony, you said, I am here today to answer your questions.
That is correct.
Answer the question.
I'm not going to provide names of our personnel.
Why not?
Today.
The American people are demanding these answers from you today, Ms. Cheatle.
Throughout her testimony, Cheatle repeatedly avoided providing specific details about the security lapses or directly answering questions about the agency's tactics. Instead, she deferred to the ongoing FBI investigation and the Secret Service's internal review. Committee members grew increasingly frustrated with her refusal to give clear answers, with some shaking their heads, laughing out loud, and speaking over her. Their frustration was evident in comments like, "Why are you here?" and "Are you serious?" serious. Representative Mike Turner, emphasizing the gravity of the situation, said, "Because Donald Trump is alive, you look incompetent." He added, "If Donald Trump had been killed, you would have looked culpable," and called on President Joe Biden to fire Cheatle if she did not step down. In a particularly heated exchange during the hearing, Republican Representative Nancy Mace asked Kimberly Cheatle if she wanted to use her 5 minutes of questioning to draft her resignation. Cheatle declined, which led to Mace's frustration boiling over. "You're full of today," Mace said, prompting a brief reminder about decorum in the House. "You are being dishonest or lying? These are important questions that the American people want answers to, and you're just dodging." Cheatle did not respond. Recently, whistleblowers have leaked information revealing significant failures by law enforcement before Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20, had a clear shot at Trump from a warehouse roof about 150 meters from the candidate's podium in Butler, PA. Cheatle admitted that the warehouse was not included in the agency's established perimeter at the rally, even though it was within AR-15 range and had been flagged as a vulnerability days earlier. She did not explain why the building was outside the secure zone or why no agent was stationed on the roof where Crooks was.
To my knowledge, he did not fly the drone over the entire area.
How did he fly a drone over the area, period? Any part of the area?
Again, I would have to go back and check the timeline of when that took place and when the event.
Why didn't you bring the timeline with you today to answer our questions?
I don't have all of the answers on the timelines based on the criminal investigation.
When asked about a Washington Post report indicating that the gunman had flown a drone over the fairgrounds on the day of the shooting, Cheatle said she couldn't confirm whether the Secret Service had conducted a similar flight. She also stated that she doesn't usually sign off on security plans personally and did not do so for the rally. Republican Representative James Comer, chair of the Oversight Committee, stated, "This tragedy was preventable and firmly believes that Cheatle needs to step down. The Secret Service has a zero-fail mission, but it failed on July 13th, and in the days leading up to the rally," Comer said during his opening statement on Monday. "The Secret Service has thousands of employees and a significant budget, but it has now become the face of incompetence. Under Director Cheatle, we question whether anyone is safe, whether it's President Biden, the First Lady, the White House, or presidential candidates," Comer added. Cheatle resisted calls to resign, asserting that she would remain in her position to oversee the internal investigation. "I think that I'm the best person to lead the Secret Service at this time," she said. She also acknowledged that the agency had denied some security requests from Trump's campaign at his events in the years prior to the assassination attempt, but claimed that no such request was denied for the Butler rally. Prior to the shooting, local law enforcement had observed Crooks pacing around the edges of the rally and using a rangefinder to peer at the rooftops behind the stage where Trump later stood. Officials said an image of Crooks was circulated among officers stationed outside the security perimeter. Witnesses later saw him climbing up the side of a squat manufacturing building that was within 135 meters from the stage. He then set up his AR-style rifle and lay on the rooftop, a detonator in his pocket, to set off crude explosive devices that were stashed in his car parked nearby. A local firefighter was killed in the shooting, and 2 more men were injured. Crooks was shot dead by the Secret Service, so Kimberly declined to provide specifics on security lapses, which can suggest that there was more than meets the eyes. And then Reps. Sheila Jackson's death, especially so soon after her involvement with the Secret Service oversight, definitely raises some eyebrows. The timing is uncanny, just 6 days after the attack on Trump. It feels like something out of a political thriller, doesn't it? Now, this is where the investigators seem to be failing. Federal authorities are still investigating what may have prompted the gunman to carry out the shooting, but so far, they say it appears he acted alone. The FBI is investigating whether the shooter was motivated by a violent extremist ideology or had any association with additional plotters or co-conspirators, according to an FBI and Department of Homeland Security bulletin sent to law enforcement Monday and obtained by CBS News. "We do not currently have an identified motive," said Kevin Rojek, FBI Pittsburgh special agent in charge, at a briefing late Saturday, and President Biden said the shooter's motives were still unclear in an address from the Oval Office the following night. "There is no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence, ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to become normalized," Mr. Biden said. "The political rhetoric in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that."
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question, yes or no?
I have admitted this is...
There was one thing that was positive about this attack, and that was Trump was not harmed heavily. Trump said in a social media post that a bullet pierced the upper part of his right ear. He was checked at a local hospital before leaving the area under Secret Service protection and flying to New Jersey late Saturday night. His son, Eric Trump, told CBS News on Wednesday that his father didn't have stitches but had a nice flesh wound. However, still, this attack raises many questions on the management and his security team as well. The shooting is a very poor example. The wounding of a former US president by an untrained